Finally. Jesus.
Finally. All right. Welcome to the Baked Beans Brigade podcast. Another episode of I Don't Recall. This is V.
Satan.
And this is AJ.
So we watched a horrible movie called Delta Farce. Almost forgot the name. That shit sucked. But before we get into that, let's just do a quick check-in. How's everybody doing today?
Myself?
Yeah, AJ, how you doing?
I'm doing good until I saw that fucking movie. But no, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Still got work, luckily, so I mean, it's going well. Life, yeah, I guess. How about you?
Yeah, things are going good. I decided to start this podcast a little bit early by getting a little fun myself. This doesn't make any sense. That's because I had a Rockstar and grain alcohol today,
Damn.
and I finished that, and this is my second drink right now. That's not
Nice.
fancy drink. This is in an old pickle jar.
It's not old pickles. It's actually strawberry preserves.
More fancy.
Remember that one time we did go to that one dude's house and he was drinking out of a fucking pickle jar? And we're like, what are you?
No, I am that dude.
What are you doing? That's who you aspired to be at 13.
Yes.
You're like, wow, I want to be that guy.
Exactly. All right, Satan, how's
Cool.
your day going so far?
I got a lot of sun and I'm very tired.
That sounds tiring.
It's good.
Yeah.
Sun equals tiring.
Oh my gosh, he has no teeth.
Our lizard just yawned right at us, and it was pretty cute.
Nice.
No
Yeah.
teeth, just throat.
The fucking reptilian lizard people who rule the world.
Yes,
Yes.
Alex Jones. The people that Alex Jones warns us about just lives in our room.
Fuck.
Um,
Gotta save you.
Before we get any further, I'd like to say, like, if this is your first time listening to this channel, go check out our cover of the debate because we haven't done it yet, but it's gonna be pretty cool.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of Joe Biden jokes, a lot of Trump jokes. This election cycle's a fucking nightmare, but
So
Let's
it's Fox
enjoy
News.
it.
those Fox News. So yeah, just come listen to the nightmare here because we are also terrified. Yeah, Joe Biden. Like, did you see at all the
Who is that man?
who is he? But did you see when he was playing like Despacito into the fucking microphone? He's like, I just
Yes.
have one thing to say. Yeah. Didn't that make you, as a Hispanic man, just want to go out to the polls and be like, even though I'm a communist, him playing Despacito into the fucking microphone makes me want to vote for him.
Dude, I fucking called the office. I voted early, dude. I was the first one to vote ever in the country. I mean, he got my vote right away. I just like no excuses. After that, he fucking got me.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit. Yeah, he earned that shit.
Yeah. Also, the
Just
first,
kidding, folks.
Yeah, fuck Joe Biden. Yeah, the first time I saw that video, it was actually a doctored one that Donald Trump had actually retweeted multiple times. And I'm not a Trump fan fucking at all. I'm a fucking communist, so fuck you if you try to get on my ass about that.
Yeah.
But he tweets some funny shit every once in a while, including this video where instead of Despacito playing, it was Fuck the Police by NWA. And art, yeah, modern art. I tried to look at that video again today, but it was taken down. Like the
Account.
account was suspended.
The-
Yeah, so
Nice.
sad, but yeah, I've been listening to a lot of like political commentators and stuff recently.
Oh yeah,
and
same.
it's annoying to hear them say like that we need to put Joe Biden in office and take out Donald Trump because Donald Trump's going to put in more roadblocks for progressive candidates if he gets elected again. But Joe Biden's not going to take down any of those roadblocks put in place. And then 4 years later, we're just going to get another Trump who's worse.
Joe Biden paved that road so they could put those roadblocks on. He's the one that fucking made Trump. He made this shit happen.
Exactly. Like, in the words of Jimmy Dore, our savior Jimmy Dore, Joe Biden has hurt black and brown people more than Donald Trump wishes that he could have.
Hell yep.
Yeah. We'll expand on that shit more. And
Yeah. But we
throughout
have
the entire.
but we have more important things to go to, like Delta Farce starring
Yes.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Yes.
And Eric Foreman.
Eric Foreman. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the actor that Satan's talking about, I forgot his last name, but his name is DJ, and yeah, he's not an actual DJ, sadly. I don't think he does any sets with like. I almost said Modest Mouse, but no, not Modest Mouse is not a DJ. Um,
Wait, who, the skinny dude?
Dead Mouse, yeah, the skinny dude, yeah.
Everett?
Yeah, apparently that guy is also a model for Prada and Calvin Klein.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Good for him, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah.
He's
Right.
number 3 out of 15 ugly celebrities that
Ugly-
are beautiful on the inside.
Oh.
Alright, so let's go into the opening scene. So they're just like talking to a bunch of people in camo, I guess, like military people in camo, not just
The army.
the army. So they're just talking to people, and then they're just like kind of like quick cuts to Larry the Cable Guy who's working inside of a diner. Yeah,
Larry
that's our opening scene.
Larry the far right guy.
Yeah, and like it was that was fucking weird, right? Like
Free salad because I'm gonna have a baby, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
this was close. I'd
was
say
bad.
it's comparable to Con Air. If you haven't listened to that episode, you should check it out.
Don't watch the movie. Just listen to us
Just
tell
listen
you
to
about it.
Yeah, just listen to us, where Nicolas Cage says to a pregnant person's stomach, "You're gonna be Miss Alabama one day." This is probably
Don't sexualize cells.
yeah. Yeah, so like Larry the Cable Guy's partner just says that she's pregnant, and he gets all stoked, and he's like, "I need to marry you," and then just like since he's working at this fucking Sizzler, he uses
It's an Outback.
no, this seems,
Outback.
Outback is a little too classy.
Outback in the backyard. That shit look
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
More like Outwhack.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just announcing to everybody, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna marry this woman now, and he like gets down on one knee and says,
Will you
that,
marry me?
"Will you marry me?" Yeah,
Free salad, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's
Okay,
like, "It's not your baby," and he's just like, "Oh shit!" And then they end up in fucking some training camp in the army somehow, and that's
Yeah.
how the movie opens.
yes. Now I'm gonna take a very quick detour, very hard detour, just because we watched a series recently called Legend of Korra, and like we're probably not gonna do a thing on this, but I just gotta say that end of that season was fucking the series was weird as shit. Just that's
Happy ending.
happy ending.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, AJ. So I don't know if you've seen it, but
No, I haven't.
so it's like we
I know what
watched
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched the last Avatar, and it's like set in like the 1920s, I think.
Yeah.
In the last season, they bring out a fucking like a whole entire battle mech that's like as tall as skyscrapers.
That
And
sounds.
I don't know where the fuck they did that shit, and it was just weird as hell. And we just recently finished watching it, and I am very disappointed in it. And they just very upset. We can cut all this out. I just wanted to say this shit because I watched this shit and it was horrible. And all the takes were bad. All of the good people were bad people. We could keep this in. We can leave it out. I don't care. I'm just
Subscribe
angry.
to our Patreon.
Please subscribe to our Patreon when we have it. I don't know if we have it yet, but this grain alcohol is feeling nice.
Nice.
Okay, back to the story.
I'll subscribe to that Patreon.
Grain alcohol
Thank
Patreon.
you. We love your support. Somebody's putting their
fucking
drink back in.
Nice.
Back to the show. Okay.
So yeah, so it cuts to him like being in the middle, but then before that, my bad, I completely forgot.
You forgot the shotgun.
There's that's what I was gonna say. So there's like cuts to like a storage unit place, and some dude like opens up a storage unit, and like
Yes.
security guard cop fucking Skinny McGee.
Back to our model.
Yeah,
D-
living in a
Air
storage unit, and then
DJ Elbows.
he's like, we gotta take care of the premises. He's like, there's somebody that came by last night. He's like, I used to be a cop, and then the guy's like, you were a cop for 4 days, and he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, but I'm still a cop.
Yeah, they played so hard on that, like just
Yeah,
for the first 5 minutes.
yeah,
I like I feel like that was the weirdest thing. I feel like they only played that he was like a security guard harder than it was that he was a cop, and they did that shit for the first 5 minutes. They went really hard into that he was a cop, and yeah, like because like immediately after that, they went into that scene where he's driving in like one of those like retired cop cars, and it still has all the like the black and white colors of a cop car and like the
yeah.
lights on it. And he just drives up to Larry the Cable Guy and that one other guy. I don't remember his name.
Um, I put Shingles guy. That's how they introduced him. Like, let me see. Hold on.
Oh yeah, we missed the part. So right before
Uh,
that happens, it's Shingles guy. I don't. Yeah, it's that guy. And he's like,
Bill,
what?
Bill.
Bill Nye the Science
Bill
Guy.
guy, the
He's
right
also
wing guy. Doom, doom,
Here we
doom, doom,
go.
doom. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So, he's like sitting in a kiddie pool, and there's like I guess his two kids, his spawn that are.
Wait, this was in the movie? What the fuck? Was this
Yes, you don't
before?
remember this?
Is
Yeah,
that
so
how
they're
is that how he got shingles? Was like in that mini pool? And then it cuts to
probably
that's the
probably.
next scene. Got shingles. Damn, sucks for you.
Yeah, so like he's in a trailer park.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, I remember that
Yeah,
part.
he's in the trailer park sitting in a kiddie pool, and then his kids are wearing like these fake awful like Native American costumes or just like
Oh, yeah.
fake ass headdresses. And they have golf clubs and just beating the shit out of the postal guy for some reason. They
Poor
never
guy.
they never like explain why or go back to that. His kids are just beating the shit out of this postal guy with his golf clubs, and the only reason he's upset is he's like, "Hey, don't fuck up my clubs," and that's it.
Yeah, I forgot. And then it goes to him. They meet up, and that's where all three of them meet up. Everett, Larry, and Bill.
Yes, and Everett, the former cop, I guess you could say, comes in and just says, "Hey, did you know that loitering is a misdemeanor?" Just
Yeah.
taking that cop shit way too hard, and they
Dude,
only do that
he was wearing like highway patrol pants. I don't know if you saw his pants.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they're either Milwaukee Brewers like baseball pants or they were they were police pants.
That's some good shit. Okay, so
Yeah.
after that,
Yeah, so then like he's like, "Oh, I got shingles," and then Larry's Larry Larry oh shit. And then
who gets shingles? I don't know. We gotta look that up on the podcast. How do you?
it's yeah, it's adult popcorn or popcorn
You get some popcorn?
adult chicken pox. Jesus.
Okay, you get
But,
some popcorn.
So yeah, like, and then Larry's like, "Oh, why don't you work hard to just get rid of those shingles?" I was like, "What does ever that mean?" I was like, "Yeah, just gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps till you fucking
By your
lick,
shingle straps.
yeah, till you fucking lick those boots."
Yeah. Okay, so I think like one cool thing about this movie is that as leftists we have to um remember, and like it was a fun thing that I got to do with this movie is like this movie was not made for us whatsoever. Like we're 100% like anti-military, anti-US imperialism, and this shit was made by like the blue collar comedy tour Larry the Cable Guy. So it's like we got to watch this movie and like try to put ourselves and like understand who this movie was fucking made for. And
It's for mall dads.
and I found that shit cool just because like it does have like blue collar comedy. It's like literally about like working class comedy, pretty much. It's mainly focused on like on the working white working class. My bad. But I just thought that was really cool, and like there were some like weird things looking as a communist, just like at this that were like there was a little bit of class analysis, a little bit like class dynamics and understanding of what it is to be a working person, but then just
Yeah.
fucking hard right wing or hard right wing, hard right turn
Mm-hmm.
into like shittiness this whole movie, except for like a couple parts that we'll get into soon. I just, I just thought it was fun and also cool of like the know your enemy kind of thing, or like know who argues against you kind of thing. I thought that was a fun thing about the movie, watching it as a leftist, even though the majority of this movie was fucking horrible. Got like a
Yeah.
5% on Rotten Tomatoes and shit.
That's it.
Old.
I think so.
Nice.
It got a 3.6 out of 10 on some other kind of thing. I think it got 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
It's a good watch. It's on Netflix. It's
Yeah. So yeah, after they meet up, they just randomly end up in like boot camp or something. They're like, we're all gonna join the
yeah.
army,
So okay, we
right?
yeah, these guys are like reserves, I guess, and they just like show up. Was it once a month, twice a month? I think it was like
I don't
once or
even
twice
know.
a month to like this one like rundown boot camp kind of thing in their like local Midwest town. And they just had like guns and Humvees and shit. So they're just like shooting random shit. Okay, so yeah, Larry the Cable Guy's partner said that the kid wasn't his, and so he's just like blowing up shit with a shotgun that was provided by the military and some like buckshot provided by the military just to destroy all the shit that he bought her. And yeah, they're just like driving around in the Humvees and
Kern.
shit.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Her name was Kern.
Kern.
Yeah, and then so they're just chilling in that military base, and then the like sergeant shows up fucking randomly saying that they're needed in Iraq.
Yeah.
Yes. So then they start going to boot camp.
Yeah, this movie was made in 2007, so yes,
It
they
was?
were needed. Definitely.
Okay. Ooh.
Recruiters needed no work after that movie was out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that definitely helped.
Yeah. Like
But
that
yeah, so
shit.
like yeah, they're in training camp and they fucking just train, have all the montages and shit.
Yeah, nice training montage
Yeah.
of DJ Skin and Bones. Of like doing the like Ultimate Warrior, like the like double-sided padded like Darth Maul lightsaber thing at like fighting in sand kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Larry the Cable Guy just like being lazy.
You mean creative?
And then DJ just like shoots a fucking bazooka just
Yeah.
at everybody for no reason and almost kills everybody. Then they're on a fucking cargo plane going to Iraq.
Yeah. Con Air 2.
Yes.
They're like war crimes too.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, they were full, yeah, a whole fucking airplane full of criminals. Definitely was Con Air 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, unsurprisingly, the guy that used to be a cop for 4 days is super excited to kill brown people.
Honestly, he
Yeah.
reminded me so much of Dale from King of the Hill.
Fucking say it.
Yeah, that's
Did
an
you notice
accurate
that
description.
paranoia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So he's just talking about different ways to punch people while they're on the plane. And then Larry's like, if I'm gonna die tomorrow, I want to get a good night's rest. So they go inside one of the Humvees that's on the plane just to go to sleep. Which is that a good call? I don't know. What would you say? Would you do that shit?
Um, Probably not. If I told somebody, I'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna fucking go back there," because like that. I mean, that shit could happen. Like, oh fuck, we just. I mean, but why would they do that? So what happens next is like they're like, "Oh, we hit some turbulence," and so they have to let go of all the cargo, and yeah, let go, and the Humvee like is strapped to the plane, and it snaps somehow. There's a hook connected to the Humvee. Shit snaps and falls out with everybody inside sleeping, and they're like
And-
just completely asleep. And Kilgore,
Yeah, Kilgore, the sergeant
yeah,
who came into their like reserve camp to like bring them to boot camp, just yelling at him and stuff. Like his ankle is hooked to one of the boxes, so he's just
the cargo
free.
boxes.
Yeah, the cargo boxes. He's just like free falling from like thousands of feet in the air, connected by a hook, and they're just sleeping
Yeah.
in the Humvee.
Dude, for the longest time, I thought until like the end, I thought Kilgore's name was Killmore. I was like, oh wow, they would name him that, but I was like,
Should have
oh
been.
yeah,
Really
definitely.
should have been. Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
go ahead. That shit
so
lands, or shit lands, falls out the plane.
the ship falls out of the plane, and the plane gets through the turbulence, and then the pilot's like, "Oh, that wasn't that bad. What are we gonna do about all that cargo that we just dropped?" And you're just like, "Oh, you fell out of form, and it'll be the army's problem now."
Yeah, it's our
Yeah,
tax dollars
that's what tax dollars
going
at
to.
work. Did you know that like the U.S. military like was actually sending out just pallets full of money to fucking warlords in Afghanistan and Iraq?
That makes too much sense.
Like really, that was actually happening. Where like U.S. Marines and like people in the army were actually playing football with just like wads of cash.
What the hell?
That's the thing that actually fucking happened. It's not a conspiracy. Like this came out that it was happening.
It makes sense. I can see that.
Um,
Yeah.
Where we left off is
the fucking Marines throwing dollar bills.
yeah, okay, that, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so they end up in buttfuck nowhere again, and I looked it up. It's in Yuma, Arizona, is where they filmed it.
No.
So they're
Okay.
in Yuma, Arizona, which is, I guess that's 500 kilometers away from the border, probably even more.
Is it? No,
For
that's for sure more. Mexico City's pretty deep in there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, yeah, it's like fucking 1,500 kilometers.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was weird. They they just used the like Universal Studios Mexico set just
Yep,
this
I saw
entire
that.
fucking time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they just land in the middle of the desert. They see his Sarge, he's just like laying down on the ground. They assume that he's dead.
Yeah.
They bury the poor guy.
Yeah, so then
Yeah.
they consolidate and they're like, oh yeah, let's get all the weapons. So they get all the guns, throw them in the Humvee, and then Lair Cable Guy has to say his famous line of, get her done. And like they all
Yeah.
jump in the Humvee and they take off and they run over a sign that says Mexico City, 500 kilometers away. It's like, oh man. And they always play like this like generic like racist music. So it's like we're going to Iraq, and it'll be some like generic of like what they assume that sound is.
Oh yeah,
The
Mhm.
music.
that shit honestly sounded like this band called Cumbia Queers. Like they're just the same exact synth that they use for their cumbia.
Oh yeah,
Like that was the first thing I thought about. Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. So they just drive into town. They go to the fucking like gas station, and they just start eating their MREs. Fucking Larry Cable Guy is like, I don't want spaghetti and meatballs. So he like asks to switch with somebody. And the guy's like, all right, I got beef stew. And so he switches with them, but Larry the Cable Guy fucking spit his chewing tobacco inside the spaghetti and meatballs. And it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Do y'all know anyone that still chews tobacco?
Yes, I do. One of my guys at work that chews. He does like they're like minty little bag things. I don't know. He keeps them in his mouth and I see him spit all day. A couple of guys at work do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, gum is kind of just as bad.
Gum?
Mm-hmm. It takes forever to decompose. It doesn't really. It
But-
fucks up your stomach.
But you can't get cancer from gum.
Yeah.
That's true. The earth gets cancer from that, but not people.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't disregard that last statement. Please chew gum if you're thinking about chewing
Yeah.
tobacco.
He's like, I heard that shit the same thing. It's equate it itself.
Just let him think it.
But that's what he does too. He'll chew gum and like fucking like mix that shit. You know how like you see that
Like-
in like 90s baseball
Oh.
movies?
The like
Yeah.
high chew or whatever. The like
Yeah.
fake,
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely an athlete, I'll tell you what. But yeah. Anyway. Well yeah, they park and then at the gas station they're eating their MREs and they before that, remember they're rolling up on the gas station like, oh yeah, they're like freeze because they're like we're America, And the guys,
Oh,
and then the guy's like, kill, kill, kill Everett.
Yeah, DJ, the fucking former cop who just wants to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Just like he sees two brown people and is like, they're enemy combatants.
Yeah.
And they're both of them are like, hey, don't you know about the like rules of engagement for war?
Yeah. Well, before that, dude, like, remember they go around the back, so they're like suspicious about the gas station, and then there's that painting on the wall. There, the cable guy's like, "Oh, that's the butcher of Baghdad. That's Saddam Hussein."
Zapata.
Yeah.
It was Emiliano Zapata, and they're like, oh, it's Saddam Hussein. Yeah, this movie was so fucking like. It's like the
The
equivalent.
worst parts of Facebook.
It's the worst parts of Facebook. It's like what your racist uncle and like if you like snuck into a Trump group because they didn't look at all your leftist memes that you post every single day. That's the same shit you would see every single day. There's one time I went into like a Bloomberg group.
Hell yeah.
Like when he was,
Support?
I do support Bloomberg 2020.
Dude, how is that?
It was weird as fuck. There's one post that I made. I was like, "Hey, I'm really interested in Bloomberg. Can
The blueberries. Give me the blueberries.
Yes, this is a stick up." But I was like, what are some of your favorite Bloomberg policies?" And everybody just got pissed immediately for some reason. They're like, "Look at his platform. Just Google it. Look at his platform. Just Google it." And that was like 40 comments in of just that shit.
What the hell?
Yeah, and
Not a cult.
no, and I looked at it. I looked at the history of the page, and it was from the same page that was Bloomberg 2016.
What
So
the hell?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing now. I think they stopped posting for some reason.
For some reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
They were
Emiliano Zapata.
eating, Yeah, they were eating, and then at this point, is it when like the Killmonger guy
Killmonger. Fucking
he
Black
like
Panther.
rises
Black
from
Panther.
he rises
Michael
from
B.
the earth.
Jordan. Just mix all of his characters up. Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan just comes out from like the new Creed movie
Yeah.
with his boxing gloves. And he's
To
ready
get back, Larry the Cable Guy, Everett, and fucking Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Jerry Lee the dog from K9/11.
Yeah.
Is driving.
He's the one that flew the plane.
Right.
That's what happened. It's all intertwined.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Biden's the one that pulled the lever saying to release the cargo.
Yeah.
Okay, so after they leave the gas station, that's when they see two brown folks walking a donkey.
Yep.
And Everett, that's his name, right? Yeah.
Eric Foreman.
Eric Foreman.
He sees them and he's like, I need to kill them immediately, and then brings up his gun and aims it at them. And Larry the Cable Guy actually makes a good point, like, hey, what the fuck, don't you know the rules of engagement? Like, there needs to be things that happen before you kill somebody, and like shots need to be fired at you.
But it's too late.
It's too late. He already shoots at him, and they go. All of them go down. The donkey and both of the guys go down, and he's like, "Hell yeah! One shot, one kill," and just all is. That hurt. That was awful.
Yeah, dude. When he fired at I thought he got the dude like right in the chest. I was like, damn,
Same.
dude. I was just like, oh fuck. He was like super stoked.
Yeah, like it was actually pretty gory. Like I was like, that was honestly pretty disturbing for like a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
Just seeing a dude get shot in the chest, and then they run up, and all of them are fine. Like
Even
both
the
of guys
donkey.
are fine.
Isn't it weird that all of these are like wartime films, and like in a couple years, hopefully, people are gonna look back at this and be like, "Damn, that's some military propaganda."
Dude, I don't know if you noticed, like, but when they go up to the two dudes that they shot at, they start speaking Spanish, and they're like, who the fuck are these American soldiers? And like, dude, one of them, like, the translation's not right. Like, he says like, oh, he's like, who are they? But in Spanish, he's like, se pierden estos pendejos. I was just like, fuck yeah. I was like, they didn't translate that shit right. I wonder, Larry Cable probably didn't even know either. He's just like, yeah, that's the right line.
Yeah, God. Yeah, this whole thing was just super fucked. Cause yeah, it came out in 2007, right?
Yep. I thought it
Yeah,
was gonna be like a '90s movie for some reason, or like maybe right like 2002 or something.
we actually almost saw this movie one time.
Really?
I, yes, I think our parents got it from like Redbox or whatever the like movie service that we were like watching at the time. Yeah,
Blockbusters.
Blockbuster, something like that. I don't know why, but they're like Larry the Cable Guy. That guy's funny for some fucking reason, even though we
Yeah.
never watched or listened to him.
Yeah.
And then there was like the first 5 minutes of the movie to the point where we wanted to stop watching.
Yeah, it was
They're
hard
like,
to like stick on this movie. I was like trying to take notes and
Yeah.
shit, and I was just like, God damn, I was like losing interest. I was like, Jesus Christ, this
yeah,
sucks.
this movie's a rough one. But again, like, I guess being a little bit more ahead in our political consciousness now and just like watching was like, this is what right wing people like watch as entertainment.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
This is what this is just reaffirming their beliefs and just like
Historical movies.
yeah, historical movies. 2007, so they're trying to like fucking blow the like war horn or beat the drum or whatever the fuck that phrase
yeah.
is for like to continuing the war in Iraq. And,
Ramming speed.
pretty much, yeah. End of George Bush's second term.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. And like the way that I looked at this movie, it wasn't even really like propaganda per se. Like I wouldn't even really consider it too much propaganda because like
It was a recruitment video after all.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like the
Fuck,
idea
that's so creepy.
the idea of propaganda is like you're trying to convince somebody, but these people have already been convinced, and that's something that was like super funky to like think about. And it's like all these people are like 100% down with the war in Iraq already who are watching this,
Hmm.
and that's just something I kept in mind this entire time.
Yep. They already accepted it and just put it in the back of their head. Like, fuck it.
Yeah, yeah, just
Also, I gotta go back to that burial scene because I was really irritated with like, did you two notice that like they stuck
The
the
rifle?
barrel of the gun all
Mhm.
the way in to the earth, right?
Yes.
With a full like magazine just hanging out.
I saw that.
And then it's like when he stands up, like it's like his face is like 2 inches away from where the barrel of the gun was.
You're getting ahead of.
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm calling stuff in
This
the
is foreshadowing.
No, I think that's like that's like no, they're right on. That's like a little bit right after from where we're at.
Okay.
yeah.
You're just drunk.
That's probably true. Okay.
Yeah, so before that too, like um they're like oh, we'll help you, like we bring freedom, peace, and democracy. That's what Larry says to like the two
Freedoms!
dudes. Yeah, freedoms,
Yeah.
freedoms.
I
Yeah.
thought they were saying Fritos for a second. And I was like, all right,
We bring
still here.
Fritos. Yeah, so yeah, they're okay, so we didn't even give her the full context. So they shot at these guys and their donkey. And luckily all of them are okay. The donkey just kind of laid down because he was scared, I guess.
He fainted.
He fainted.
The ground caught him.
Donkey.
Like, so they're all being held at gunpoint, like just being interviewed, and just, they're all being done like that. Ugh. I'm having a heart attack. It's that grain alcohol and
Oh, I'll
rockstar
burp
combo.
you. I'll burp you.
Okay. So they're being held at gunpoint, and like by all three of them, by Larry the Cable Guy, the guy that has shingles, and DJ the skin and bones guy, and like just yelling at him in English, like expecting, and just like that same tired fucking trope. It's like, do you know who we are? Like if we speak
Yeah.
it louder and slower, you'll understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're finally like, oh fuck, okay, maybe they can help us with this like cartel problem that we have, and that's what the like two Mexican dudes were thinking. And then they're like, oh yeah, freedom, 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 and then they finally take him to the town.
Yep.
And then next scene.
Yeah, the next scene is where they're like, yeah, they're at the little wall, and they're like, oh, looking at the village, and they see the three cartel dudes, like kind of shooting in the
no
village. Yeah, for no reason. They're like, oh, that's them. Like that's the terrorists we've been after.
Yeah, still thinking that they're in Iraq.
Yeah, exactly. Still
They're
think.
just in Universal Studios. They just landed in the middle of a tour.
Yeah. And then yeah, so like they're like looking at him, trying to plan out what to do, and then Kilmore, he comes up again, and he shows up at the gas station.
Kilgore.
My bad, Kilgore,
Killmonger.
my bad, same thing. He has 3 names. But and then like some dudes from like they weren't even Mexican. They looked like they're from L.A. And they
Yeah,
even
exactly. Yeah.
They had the cholo fits.
yeah, and the slang too. The slang too. I was just like, dude, that's the fuck. Yeah.
They really look like the 2 guys that are in the Selena movie.
No, they do.
Or Salinas. I thought that's what they were gonna say.
Salinas.
Yeah, just straight up identifies Chicanos. Just that kind of shit came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird as fuck. Like, who do you think Larry the Cable Guy came up with these characters and specifically?
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah.
And you know, some Mexicans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Their flannels and bandanas.
Yeah.
You know, the folks of Mexico City.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. They built those pyramids for lowriders. That's all there is.
Lowrider accessible.
Yeah. Oh,
That's why the
shit.
stairs are so tiny. They have good clearance for the lowriders.
Yeah. So yeah, it cuts to him, and then like oh we could give you a ride, and so they give him a ride. Fucking kill Gore, and then it cuts back to Everett.
They pick him up for a date. They don't even give him a ride. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they drive. They see the people shooting in the city, and then like they just drive in fucking guns, like literally guns firing. You know, like no mixing with words or anything. They're just shooting everything with the guns. They have like a fucking 50 cal on top of the
the watermelons, the like
the piñatas, fucking just shooting everything, and they didn't hit any single person, which is good. I'm really happy that they did. Considering they think these like Mexican cartels are like
anyone brown,
are the brave Mujahideen fighters of Rocky. Fuck. Did you know, this is a little tangent, but did you know that in the beginning of Rocky 3, when he's going in to fight like Desert Storm, it says like this film is dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters.
Really?
Yeah, it really says that.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so they come in fighting the brave Mujahideen fighters, and just shooting fucking everywhere, and Everett just comes in and he like has a gun at a figure wearing like a headdress, it looks like, and he's like, get on the ground, and like pointing the gun at it and shit, and there's just like a bunch of dust in the air, and it just turns out to be the Virgin Mary, just the statue of the Virgin Mary that he's pointing the gun at.
But she's wearing a hijab, so he's confused. You know, he's like, "Oh shit, this is a little pale, but it's wearing brown people clothing."
Yeah.
Hella conflict.
He's like, might as well just shoot anyway.
Yeah. She's resisting.
Yeah. That's a gun.
The holes were in there before we got here. And like.
They make her holy.
Yeah, so then they're just talking shit on Larry the Cable Guy, and they're like, well, Larry didn't do anything, and he comes up with somebody who like had a shotgun and like a bunch of shells around his chest.
Yeah.
That was the cartel. Yeah, so like when the shooting happens, like the cartel scattered.
And then the Cable Guy goes and rescues the day by getting one of them.
Yeah.
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 Then after that, like it cuts to a scene of them like kind of waking up in the morning, and they send Everett to like, he's like, oh, why don't you go watch the prison? And he's like, our prison, hell yeah. He's like, that would be amazing. Like he was like super stoked on it. I was like, oh man. And then Larry reiterates, it's like, yeah, this is Iraq. It's the most dangerous place in the world. He's like, other than Detroit. I was like, oh
my
shit.
God.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah. And then like the one of the dudes, the Mexican dude that was first with him, who I thought got shot in the chest, he walks in, and he's like, "Oh, come, there's a party over there," and then he's like, "What'd you say?" And then he's like, "What'd you say, Ahmed?" That's what Larry says to like this Mexican dude. I was just like, Jesus, Larry.
Yeah. So like,
Literally.
right after this, they just come and shooting everybody, and the cartel comes out. Then they're just like the like whitest Mexican woman like in the entire movie is the like love interest
Hmm.
pretty much. And then they're talking about war brides,
Yeah, I was like, what the
and
fuck?
like
Blech.
the
Ugh.
shingles guy was like it's the right of every American soldier to have a
To
wife,
take.
to take a wife from the place you're invading, whether it was Vietnam, Korea. And it's just
My
like,
Dude,
grandpa did it.
yeah, my grandpa took
yeah,
one
it's
from
fucking
Korea, and it's the
crazy.
grossest fucking thing.
Yeah. Dude, I
Yeah.
just realized I know who fucking Shingles guy is.
Who?
Fucking Bill Dotree from King of the Hill. His name's Bill.
Yes.
That's Bill, dude. He just
Yes.
went back after that like intense Mexican battle, and went to go cut
Yeah,
hair.
yeah,
Yeah. He
that
wants to
Bill
cut lawns.
Dotree. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's exactly cutting lawns. Like,
yeah, and that whole like that guy's whole character was based on the gross ass like cis het stereotype of relationships. Is like
yeah,
just I
Ball and chain.
ball and chain. I need to speak to my boss, my higher
My
up,
superior.
superior to that gross thing. Ah, don't
yep,
be straight people is awful. It's a trap. It's a trap.
yeah. This movie,
BK, live free.
this
BK
movie,
do crimes, live free.
yeah. Yeah, and then they're all surprised, like the when they go to the town and then they go to the party, and like the guy's like, "You speak English?" He's like, "Oh, that's good." Doesn't put two and two together, and he's like,
Yeah.
"This is," and under his breath, he's like, "This isn't Iraq," and like the Bill Dotree just keeps talking, like
Yeah.
ignores him and shit, and it's just, "Oh man, he didn't hear that," and then like they come up and I was like, "You're in Mexico." He's like, "Oh," or no, they still don't get it because they're like, "These are tacos." They're like, "Huh,
Yeah.
that's weird. I wonder why they
And
have tacos in
like
Iraq."
and the guy's like, oh yeah, the Bill Dotree guy is like, if they have pork rinds here, I'm staying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, this movie was so dumb.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. And then so yeah, after that whole scene, they talk and everything, and it cuts to a scene to because they discuss like, oh yeah, the guy who those three guys that are shooting in the town, they were with Carlos Santana, like the
Yes.
the that actually made me laugh. I was like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, those ones made me laugh too.
And it cuts to a scene and like, oh, Carlos Santana, the singer, and they're like what? Who? They like didn't know who it was, and then it cuts to a scene as Danny Trejo,
Yep.
freaking starring in Con Air 2.
Yeah, yes. Are we just gonna follow Danny Trejo in all of his movies now?
Yeah, probably.
Gotta watch Spy Kids.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Like it seems like we're
No.
on a route of just like doing propaganda and fucking pro-military horrible movies.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with that. These movies suck.
So yeah, after it cuts to Danny Trejo, and they're like, "Oh, we kidnapped this dude from Cancun." I was like, "Hell yeah!" And the guy that comes out is fucking Jeff Dunham. I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Satan has never heard of Jeff Dunham.
Oh
and,
no! Oh
yeah,
man!
they didn't know that Jose the Jalapeno on a Stick, who was the character that was like doing a cameo, I guess,
Hmm.
in this scene where Jeff Dunham had the jalapeno on a stick and was like um, ventriloquisting for him.
Yep.
So like I had to pause the movie and it's like, you need to be cultured.
And I didn't. I really didn't. I regret everything. I wish I was pure
Oh,
before
shit.
today.
Was it great, dude?
No, it was awful. I hated it. It was so awkward.
Dude, I can't. I fucking hate to admit this, but like when me and fucking V were younger, like we actually liked it. We're like, oh shit, but then it's like
Yeah.
I was just like, god damn it. And then when you look at it now, you're just like, god damn, that shit's
Yeah, it was
horrible.
I had to show them Ahmed the
Yeah,
dead terrorist, and we
yeah,
only lasted like a good 10 seconds before we're like, we understand all of it already.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the opening joke that Jose the Jalapeno says, he's like, oh, it feels like I'm standing in front of a Home Depot. I was just like, what the fuck? And it's just all
No.
Mexicans in
So
Mexico.
many Mexicans.
I'm
It
just
feels
like,
like
oh.
I'm standing in
And
front of Home Depot. Yeah,
It was
that
cool
shit was-
because the whole crowd was just like, what the, you heard him saying, like, what the fuck? Like, they're cussing under their breath and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing was okay. So another side tangent because these are fun. Everybody should check out Matt Bronger and Kyle Kinane stand-ups because we've tried to watch like stand-ups from this year, and a lot of them from the big guys fucking suck ass because they got too rich and just like out of touch and shit. And
Talking about you, Eric Andre.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Because
dude, I saw
honestly,
that
that
shit.
shit sucked.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Eric Andre, I love your Eric
Everything
Andre show.
else.
Everything else, yeah, just you, just fucking with guests the entire time, but you're just making noises about drugs.
It's like good for you, but like, why did you do this?
Yes. Bobby Lee was cool as fuck though. We saw him live right before COVID like lockdown happened.
Lucky.
And he was sneezing and coughing on people.
Yeah.
What
He
the
was
fuck?
like on top of people making jokes about how like he would sneeze in elevators to make white people nervous.
Yeah.
What a hero.
I still do that shit. Okay, coming
Social
back.
dis-
So Jeff Dunham is doing his standard shitty jokes in front of Danny Trejo and an entire cartel, and
Isn't dead, surprisingly.
it's not. They just shoot the jalapeno in the face,
Yeah.
and then Jeff Dunham falls down for some reason.
Yeah, because like Danny Trejo shoots Jose Jalapeno on a stick, and like he's like, "Oh man, you hurt Murphy." I think that's what Jeff Dunham says, and
Yeah.
he's like, "I was aiming for you," and like he faints. I was like, "Dude, you gotta go to the range, Danny Trejo. You're a freaking cartel leader. You gotta be on your shit. What the fuck you doing?"
Yeah.
And then like he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I gotta." He's like, "Is the TV working?" And I was like, "No, we're trying to get working." He's like, "Oh, I gotta watch my CNN." I was just like, "Oh god."
What?
Yeah.
I remember that shit.
And then he sings that fucking song.
Oh yeah, so they do karaoke instead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah,
That was actually a pretty good scene. That was like one of the few scenes that actually made me laugh in this entire movie.
yeah. That's pretty good. Then they cut back to the three dudes, and it's they're like, "Oh yeah, we're Operation Sombrero." Remember, that's when they start saying that shit because they figure out finally that they're in Mexico. Like Larry gets this fucking. He finally comes to terms like, "Oh yeah," and then the other guy, Bill Dotree, if he's all drunk, and he's just like, "Hey man, I have something to tell you." He's like, "I think we're in Mexico," and then the cable guy's like, "No," and he gets all mad.
Oh yeah, then he just goes outside
Yeah.
and then like there's all of the Mexican stereotypes just going on at once.
Mm-hmm.
The piñatas and the what else?
The song
The
too.
alcohol.
The song, yeah, the mariachi band
Yep.
playing the standard like Mexican hat dance song.
Yep.
Yeah, they only hired them for one song apparently.
Yeah.
Is this also while the like interrogation with the Chewbacca suit is going on?
So that's like, so that was like the next night. So I guess they figured that out, and then they woke up
Oh.
the next morning, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we gotta."
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Everett, why don't you go back to the to guard station or whatever?" And then Bill Dotree and Larry talk a little bit, and then like you said, the next scene is Everett in the fucking interrogation room, the torture room, interrogating the dude that's speaking English,
Yeah.
the Mexican dude speaking English.
Yeah, and just like, where are you from? He's like, Mexico. He's like, I'm just a poor Mexican, man.
Yeah.
That's what he says. And he's like, oh, a foreign operative. That's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he find like the Mexican dude puts it together before Everett does. He's like, "Oh shit, you think you're in Iraq? Like, you gringos actually think that you're in Iraq?" And then just starts laughing and shit. And that's when they like runs outside and it's like all the Mexican trips going on.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they like drive back to get more like medical supplies from like where the drop off was. And then they see that Sarge is no longer there. And my fucking favorite line that Everett says where he's like, "Oh, maybe they were like grave robbers cuz you can make a pretty penny selling a testicle on eBay."
I'm gonna have to check that later.
Yeah.
Stitch and fix real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
cuts to that, and then like Kilmore, like finally, Like they get back to town and Kilmore finally arrives. Like gets a bike and he like rides all the way past where they were getting the supplies into
he
town.
breaks off like the Salinas guys were trying to um to go on a date with him. Yes. And like they put him in like lingerie and then he just drives into the
A
desert
foreign
with the
girl.
Yeah,
They got their own war bride.
exactly.
Yeah, so he drives back. I don't remember what happens next.
It drives back, so like Larry Cable Guy, like he meets up with Danny Trejo again, like in town, and they're in town, and they're like at a stick up. They're like, I think we got a Mexican standoff, and Larry's like has his like machine gun pointed at Danny Trejo, and it's the whole this whole
No,
gang.
you missed. Okay, so the Shingles guy, him and his like standard straight relationship kind of thing. Like
Oh yeah, that's what it
He
was.
goes to a
Yeah,
phone booth.
yeah, he
Yeah.
asked
yeah,
for a phone, and then go to like a phone booth, and then it's like, I
It's a
need
phone pole.
yeah, phone pole. I need to talk to my superior, and it's like, oh, like why don't you tell like the general, Larry the Cable Guy? He's like, oh no, this is a secret one. He's like, what do you mean? Why don't you tell him? It's like, it's my wife, and the guy's like, oh yes, this makes sense. So he starts calling him. Then Danny Trejo rolls up with
that's
the
what it
knife.
was. Yeah,
Yeah, and
Jack
this
Hawk
is
9000.
yeah. So this is like this entire movie. I was waiting for like a hard left turn, for like because of like as we acknowledged like who this movie was written for is just written for like hard right wing people, pretty much. And like, when is this gonna make a turn where it's like not gonna have a shitty take? And it happens right in this scene because they finally like pick up the Shingles guy, Bill Dotree, and Danny Trejo has a gun with him, and he's like trying to interrogate him, and he's not saying anything. He's like,
Just peed in a cup.
just had a little bit.
Yeah, Danny Trejo pees in a cup. Go on.
In a shot glass, to be precise. It's Mexico. You hold it in.
God.
So yeah, after that they we were talking about. I know I skipped ahead to where, a little bit, but like Kilgore shows up in the middle of the Mexican standoff. Jesus, burp. Yep. With Danny Trejo and like his crew and like the three dudes, and he's like, "Where the hell have you guys been?" Like in the middle of the shootout. And yeah, that's what happens. And then he gets kidnapped.
Yeah, so like Everett comes out with a bazooka, just point blank points it at everybody. That was so weird. Just runs up like 10 feet away from everybody and is like, I will blow you all up.
Yep.
And then like shoots it, but then misses. And then it goes into the well that's been dry for a while.
He shoots it up, and then everyone has to scatter.
Yeah.
That was rude.
Yes. And then it goes into the well that's been dry, and they've had to go to like a river to find water. And so then it explodes, and then water shoots up, and everybody's all excited that the colonizers did this shit again. Like, whee!
Oh my god, thank you, white saviors.
Yes.
So yeah, after that they like it cuts out because like Kilgore gets kidnapped, and like they're like, oh, we should go after him. So like they go after him, and they have this whole plan of trying to get him back from the Danny Trejo.
Yeah. So Kilgore's getting like tortured, and he's like strapped down on like a dentist chair. And they're like fucking with electricity, and it's like the snapping of the electricity like you usually see, and then just like the current finally goes through, and it's like, oh, electricity, they did that to me back in Vietnam, I'll be fine, you got to do something a little bit worse. And he's like, oh no, this isn't electricity, this is a duet. And then a microphone comes down. Oh yeah, we skipped the like only like I guess relatively good part of the entire movie.
Oh, the gay part.
The gay part.
With his nephew.
Yes, the shingles guy when he gets captured after trying to make a phone call to his abusive wife. um, like Danny Trejo's the gun to him, and then like he's like, "Oh, you better talk, or else I'm gonna tell you that that you like Ruben," and Ruben is Danny Trejo's gay nephew, and he's like, "Oh, that's awful," and then he's like, "Why didn't you fire him?" That's what the Shingles man says. He's like, "You can't fire somebody for being gay. That's discrimination." And you can't choose your family. I still love him, and just like the fact is like thinking back again to who this movie was written for and who it's like supposed to watch it, and it's the like MAGA chud types of 2007. Like this is actually trying to teach them something, and I thought that shit was hilarious.
Well, I mean, a lot of them, like super pastors, come out as being gay and stuff. So maybe we're like, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
but
just
like
come.
that was the hard turn that I was waiting for. Was like, I know like these people probably don't have these shitty of views. This is just their like characters. Because
Yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy doesn't actually sound like that at all.
No.
Like that's his character. And so I was like, when is this actually gonna be not as shitty? And that was the moment. That was one of the only moments. So going back to Sarge is tied down, and it's like it's a duet, and then it's
Sonny and
Kilgore,
Cher.
Sonny and Cher. What was
I
the
got
song?
you, babe.
I got you, babe. Sing with I forgot the nephew's name. With
Yeah,
the
me too. I
nephew
forget.
and Kilgore, and they just start singing the duet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a gun pointed to your head, and then you have to sing. And it's also like at the end, after they're done singing, he's like, "I hate Sonny and Cher," but then it's like, how do you hate them so much that you remember all the lyrics?
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like liar.
Everybody knows those words.
Yeah, exactly. That
Nope.
monoculture.
Yeah.
Also, talking about no culture, I have no idea who Larry the Cable Guy is.
That's good for
Still.
you. I wish I was. I
I
wish I
don't
was
know.
you.
Yeah. I'm good here. I'm good here. Please
Wait. Okay. So like
do not
somebody else
enlighten
on
me.
the like blue collar comedy tour, Jeff Foxworthy. So you know the show like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Yep. Yeah, I know who
So
that. I know Jeff Foxworthy is.
yeah. So there's another show on Netflix. I forgot what it's called, but it's like, do you know your Bible? I think that's what
Oh,
the
yeah.
show is called. Um, and it's a show where they like bring up random Christian people and they ask them questions about the Bible in the same exact format of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
What the
And it's
hell?
fucking weird and so creepy.
So I gotta watch that. We gotta do episodes about that. I'm down.
I'm down. Let's do it. Just
Christianity, the cult.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah. So back to that. They're singing the duet, and then like they get closer and closer as they're finishing the duet, and Larry, the cable guy, comes out of nowhere and hits the cousin in the head with a bottle, and let's get out of here, Kilgore, and gets him out of there, out of the torture scene. And the next scene shoots to Everett, and he's like dressed up like a wrestler, and like he beats, like, remember that he goes into a wrestling cage and
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
beats the
fights a dude.
jabalina.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
yeah. So there's a full on fucking wrestling scene that goes on because you gotta know your base, gotta know your audience. No, there's quite a few WWE and backyard WWE. Have you seen those backyard WWE
Yeah,
like
they're great.
videos? Yes, those things are amazing. Like honestly, that's cool as fuck. Like the whole like community based entertainment where
Yeah.
even though it's like really weird and generally racist, like
Yeah.
that like whole idea of that kind of concept of having a community entertainment thing that isn't like done very often in a lot of like places in the US that needs to be done more.
Yeah.
Not the racism included,
Yeah.
of course, but you gotta watch weird people punch each other or fake punch each other in the
Yeah.
face. It's good things. Yeah. So Everett fights
Yeah.
the the professional
It
wrestler.
was so fucked up how Danny Trejo was just like he brought his boys to the wrestling, and then they're like, "Oh my God, it's La Jabalina. Who's he fighting today?" And he's like, "You."
Yep.
Like that was so fucked up. Like
Yep.
imagine showing up to work and then your boss is like treating you to go see this game or whatever, and it's like you versus a football player. Fuck that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, this movie was really hard to watch.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
at this point, like I was kind of checking out. I was just like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, God damn. So yeah, the next scene is just like they go to the village. That's like somehow like Everett like escapes from all that shit.
Yeah. And then like, wait, is this the point where everybody has a gun in the village?
No, you're skipping.
I skipped.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
They
After
get Sarge out, and then oh yeah, the like one guy, the shingles man, like he's like putting sugar, like the little packets of sugar inside the gas tank,
oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
and then Sarge comes out and he's like, "Oh, you're in the enemy's uniform. I knew you'd be a traitor." And he's like, "No, I'm just doing this." And Sarge's like, "Sugar in a gas tank. How about this?" And then he pulls out some fucking dynamite to put
Yeah.
underneath the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
Wile E. Coyote.
yeah.
Pulled that shit out of his ass.
Yeah. And then blow it up. After
That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, so Everett wins somehow against the professional wrestler.
Yep.
Shout out to the stuntsman or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, after that, it's in the explosion, and then Everett leaves, finds Larry the Cable Guy, and Bill Dotree and Kilgore, and they just like, okay, let's go, and they like go back to the village, and they drive back to the village. At this point, it's like nighttime at like Danny Trejo's like fucking dungeon of whatever, and come back, and it's daytime, so it's like fucking daytime somehow. So I was like, oh, that's cool, and then they're like, yeah, we should go home now because like we were way in over our heads. Like we're not supposed to be here, and we're fucking everybody's AWOL.
Yeah.
And then yeah, after that, fucking the crew's like, no, we should stay. Larry's like, we should stay and help him. And like, yeah, you're
Bring 'em
right.
freedom. You gotta bring him freedom. That's our job.
Yeah, and then so like I was like, yeah, let's take out Santana. I was like, he's not gonna be able to get here because like we blew up the cars, and like everybody in the cartel comes with on horses. They come through on horses, like
And a
riding
tank.
up and stuff, and a tank. Yeah, Big Bertha. Exactly, Big Bertha.
The biggest horse, yeah.
Yeah. And so there was like a gunfight and stuff. Nobody gets hit or anything. Everybody has horrible aim.
So like yeah, so when this happens, then like the entire city comes out.
Yeah,
with
that's what
their
happens. Yeah, yeah,
stuff. And then Everett just yells out, "Remember the Alamo!"
yeah,
And yells that to a group of Mexicans. And they're like, "Oh no, this is kind of a sore subject for us." But it's like the Mexicans also won the Alamo.
yeah,
What?
Get it right.
Get it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Davy Crockett just died because he's a fucking racist.
yeah.
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 Alamo was such a weird thing, like learning about that now. It's like, oh, so you just wanted slaves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck Davy Crockett. Glad he's dead, even though he would have been dead of old age by this time anyway.
Yeah. You never know. He might have. He could have been a vampire.
He's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Can't. Yeah. Exactly. Reincarnated.
No, because Keanu Reeves is a vampire from like the 16th century.
That's true.
The more you know.
So yeah, and then so with that whole there's like a gunfight and everything, and then like Larry's like, oh, I've got a deal. Let's shoot the cannon. They have like an 1850s like cannon. And so he like lights it and he's like, hope this thing works. And like it doesn't shoot. So he's like, what the hell? And he kicks it, somehow kicks the wheel off of the cannon. And that shit fires and hits Big Bertha. And like it explodes and it scares the cartel. And they're like, oh shit. And they all run away. So they're at gunpoint and they run away. And but Danny stays around and he takes Maria Garcia, the lady that was
The war bride.
yeah, exactly.
Larry
And
the
they're like, yeah, don't do this, like and Larry's like, stop, give her to me, and like she like runs over to him and he's like, "You're never gonna stop us. We'll just keep coming back." And he's like,
Mhm.
"The only thing that will stop us is like a barrage of people." And then the helicopter shows up. It's like a U.S. fucking helicopter, and he's like, "One helicopter ain't gonna do shit." And turns around, two more helicopters come over the hill, and I was just like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah.
Con Air 3.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, that was. And then like the U.S. military just comes in and then just arrests question mark the.
Well, they have a shootout first,
Oh.
so they have like another shootout kind of thing where like all the military men. Remember, there's like 20 of them that run out into the street and they're like running, and like more cartel members like start running away after they're shooting, and then Bill Dotree gets shot in the ass. Remember that shit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Get shot
felt
in the
bad.
ass.
So like after the helicopter comes, Danny Trejo, like you said, gets arrested, and like Larry kisses that lady. I felt so bad for that lady. I was like, damn, that sucks to be you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the guy's like, "Oh, I've been shot, Larry. I can't go on." And then he like pretends to go to sleep. And then a medic pulls up his pants and he's like, "He just got shot in the ass. He'll be fine."
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And then like after all of that,
Some guy comes out of another helicopter in a suit, and he's like fucking CIA. And he's like, "Who is this guy?" He's like, "I work with the State Department." And yeah. He's like, "We're gonna do something good with you guys." And it cuts to like a news lady, like like talking about the news. And it's like breaking news, like Operation Sombrero was a success, and like
yeah,
help
yeah.
like destroy terrorism in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
It's the preemptive strike against some drug shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's like the Mexican government was hiding a terrorist cell in
yeah,
Mexico City.
exactly.
Some ridiculous shit that like has is real propaganda that
Yeah.
Republicans have said about
Oh yeah,
ISIS
that
They were
definitely.
taking
for the last
notes.
4 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that shit was crazy.
And then like after that, they're all just getting awards, like medals of honor, I think.
Or something,
Uh,
yeah, in front of the
They
whole
got the
crowd that
Girl
opened
Scout.
up the movie. So when they're
yeah,
talking to him and they just like come up on stage like, "Here's this," and it flashback to everybody like in their life. So it goes back to Everett, the skinny dude, and like he becomes like a Mexican wrestler. He's like,
yes.
and his name's Carne Asada. I was like, hell yeah, Carne
That is such
Asada.
a Dale thing to do too.
Yeah, exactly,
Special
exactly.
move is pocket sand.
Yeah.
Squirrel mode engage. Yeah, and then
Flying squirrel monkey.
Yeah, and then
yeah,
they put a pin on Bill, and like he becomes rich for suing Mexico
yeah,
for
suing the
like
Mexican
shoot him in the
government.
ass, and he gets like a shit ton of money and becomes rich. And his kids are still like beating the post office person up with clubs. You just see the scene like zooms into his gigantic mansion. It's like the kids are like hitting them with the golf clubs.
Yeah, and he like lives in Beverly Hills now, and like instead of being in a kiddie pool, he's just in the like water fountain
Yeah,
of in
exactly.
front of his house
Yeah.
in a lawn chair.
And then it shows Larry the cable guy, and he like owns a restaurant in Cabo San Lucas. I was like, Jesus.
That
Yeah,
awful background, like it's worse
Yeah.
than any Zoom background.
And
God.
then at the end, the very last one was Danny Trejo shows where he's at, and like he's just becomes Jeff Dunham with Jose the Jalapeno,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
that's the end.
And then it dedicates the movie to the brave Mujahideen fighters in Afghanistan.
Yes, exactly. Pays tribute.
But yeah, what are your final thoughts on this movie?
Dude, I was kind of like upset that we had to watch this movie.
Me too. Like
Like I
thought
was
it was
watching it and I was just
good.
like, it couldn't be that bad. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, what the fuck? Like, really? Nice.
Honestly,
Who chose this again?
Yeah,
V chose it.
yeah. Okay. So the reason we chose this movie was because,
we made a mistake.
yes, I think it was the pretty much immediately after we recorded this last podcast. We were like looking for shit on Netflix, and it's like Delta Farce. Let's just kind of see what that is. And then we got to the part where they were like in the reserves, the reserves, and they're just shooting random stuff. And it's like, okay, this is already dense as fuck. Like we need to say this for the podcast.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's like, okay, I guess final thoughts is like, this is like the inside machinations of a Trump voter's brain. Like, remember that scene in like the Simpsons movie where Homer Simpson is like in Alaska and there's that indigenous woman that's like teaching him how to do that, and then like she's talking to him,
Yeah.
and just that monkey like hitting
Clapping.
the cymbal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That like this is the equivalent of like what's happening inside the Trump voters' brain. Like, is this movie? This is what they think. This is how they think.
Yeah.
And like the like whole Danny Trejo and like, this is my nephew, I can't fire him because he's gay. That's discrimination. It's like, this is like pushing
almost.
Yeah, this is pushing the envelope for them. Like, this is getting into their like dumb simple brain and like seeing how they think. I think that was like the most interesting thing for me in this entire movie. It was a documentary inside of somebody's brain.
Yeah.
We say books are passports, but damn, this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think this is like all going to be used in 2024 when the Democrats run for their next presidential candidate. This is going to be like, this is where we're going to be at on the spectrum. They're going to be like, yeah, this is all we have to do to be right. And we should send people to Mexico to make the lives of people in Mexico better so they'd stop crossing the border. And it's going to be this whole fucking mess.
That's what Pete Buttigieg actually said in an interview.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying this. Like, it's not too far off from what the Democrats are going to be in 2024. It's going to be terrifying.
When Kamala embraces the red.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. They keep moving farther and farther right. It looks like it's continuing every day, even with like what Joe Biden, like the press is putting up, just like, yeah, look at, he's strong, and he's just going pro-war and shit, and it's just like, Jesus, like, really? Just keep going that way, which is...
They're wearing the same uniform.
Yeah. Two wings of the same bird.
Yep.
As we've heard.
Yeah, like
the freedom bird.
The freedom bird.
Freedom bird flying right to fascism.
With two AR-15s strapped to its back.
Yep. God, yeah, like this whole Biden thing where he's like leaning
the pedophile.
Yep. Just a lot.
But just leaning so hard into being like, fuck you to the Bernie base.
Yeah.
Like
yep, and that's cool, because I will just be like, okay, cool, fuck you too then.
Yeah.
That's all I have to do.
Not to vote for you. That's like,
you said if we believe Tara Reid, we don't have to vote for you.
Exactly.
This is my field trip pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Howie Hawkins, just for the sake of getting a fucking third party.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shit show, and we're here for it, folks. You could come tune in whenever we're doing debates, and
it's gonna be depressing but enjoyable.
It's gonna be bad.
We will be drunk. Probably.
Yes, I hope that they do the like Joe Rogan debate. Like, I really hope they do.
I saw that, dude. That'd be fucking amazing. I'd be super stoked.
Yeah, because like, I listen to Joe Rogan to be 100% honest.
How could you?
I listen to him mostly for like hunting stuff, or like maybe like every once in a while when he's interviewing a comedian, just because like that shit's funny.
Yeah, that's why I watch a lot of these comedians too, just to laugh. Like, just to escape from like fucking reality a little bit.
Yeah, like that's what I have to do. Like, I'm just listening to like political podcasts, and it's like, okay, I need to have a little bit of a break from the fucking horrors of humanity and horrors of capitalism. And like, I think I forgot who it was, but they described Joe Rogan as the stereotype of the American undecided voter. And I think that's like,
he's your average Joe.
Average Joe Gyms.
Yeah, and like, I feel like that makes a lot of sense, because like, he is quote unquote progressive on some policies, but he's also reactionary as fuck on other things.
He's just a high ass dude.
Yeah, like he's a dumb guy that like a lot of his like childhood and like early adulthood was getting punched in the head in
Yeah.
competitions.
CTE for sure.
Yeah, so it's like that's why with things with like fighters too, like when they say something bad and it's like, did you really expect anything
Yeah,
else?
exactly,
Like,
dude. I
just,
think the same shit. Just like, it's
like
like, oh my god, here was this person said. Like, dude, if you expect anything more, there's something wrong with you.
yeah, like Conor McGregor is racist and it's like that dude gets punched in the face a lot. Like
Kick to the face, not just. I mean, just get feet to toes to the face.
yeah, he's gonna be a little bit dumb. Just
Yeah,
don't put that much fucking weight into what he says.
yeah,
But yeah, so like
But also don't excuse any of the shit that he does.
yeah,
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 exactly.
that too.
Yeah.
You got to have both sides of that. Like, don't be surprised when somebody whose job is to get punched in the face is racist, but also that doesn't excuse it.
He's also a sexual abuser and recently got arrested for, I think, harassing or assaulting somebody in another country. Not that it makes it any less, but I just mean they're probably actually going to punish him. And that'll be interesting.
Wow.
That's good, but I mean, he's rich, so he'd probably be fine. Unfortunately,
Stop, you're ruining the fantasy of justice.
it's a fantasy. It's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like all that to say is like I 100% approve of a 4-hour long debate
Yeah.
with Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Like,
Hey, Trump already said yes, so I mean, it's just Joe Biden just needs to say yes, and he said it right away. The dude that was gonna moderate it, right? Not Joe Rogan, the other dude that was gonna like, he was like, yeah, if you want, and Trump was like on it, like real fucking quick.
Yep.
And Biden has this Biden camp. They don't want to say yes. Everybody knows that.
He only has 15 minutes of coherency.
Yeah, dude, that should be dude, that would be great. That'd be fucking.
Do you think that their VPs will get to be there just because of how fucking weird?
Oh, dude, if that happens, I feel like that'd probably be the only way that Biden would actually do it. If
Kamala did everything.
Yeah, if she was there like by his side and shit.
God. Yeah, I just think it would be funny, just like Joe Rogan smoking like fat fucking joints.
Yeah,
and fat
same.
blunts in
Passing
front of
that shit,
both of them.
passing it to fucking Trump and Biden. No, probably. I bet Trump would be down. To be honest.
I don't know, because I don't think he would, because just like
image.
The
True.
optics of,
True.
But
I can see him. I can see him doing it more though. If someone were to do it, like definitely not be Biden and be like fucking Trump.
Because like, okay, so Trump doesn't even drink.
Okay, never mind. I didn't know that.
Trump doesn't drink. So like,
I don't believe that.
He just eats cheeseburgers.
No, he just eats well done steak with fucking ketchup like a weirdo.
Nice.
But
I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, Trump doesn't drink. He just does like Adderall, whatever the fuck he does to get through his debates. And Joe Biden probably the same. So it's like I don't think they would get drunk. I wonder if Joe Rogan would actually smoke, because that's just like the standard protocol and shit.
No, he'll stand in line, or like he'll fucking stay in line and like not smoke.
What if he just gets drunk as fuck though?
That'd be cool too.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. It'd just be like Fear Factor. Imagine he's just like, "Welcome to Fear Factor." I mean, presidential elections 2020.
Yeah. All right, now eat this worm, Joe.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Don't you mean Jill? Since she's probably gonna do a lot of the work too.
Yeah. Joe Biden sucking on her finger and shit.
Oh, God.
Nice.
I can't believe that Joe Biden is actually
alive.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My prediction is he's gonna die middle of October.
Oh, dude. One of my coworkers was wearing a shirt, and I was like, "Oh, sick fucking Biden shirt." She's like, "This isn't a fucking Biden shirt," and it was like "Walk for Alzheimer's."
Amazing.
It was a blue shirt too. I was just like, "Fuck yeah!" I was like, "Hell yeah, you voting for Biden 2020?" And she's like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "Sick shirt."
Fuck.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Can't believe that our choices are man with obvious Alzheimer's or man with not so obvious Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
That's cool as fuck.
On that note, we should probably rappity-dappity up.
Yeah,
because it's getting kind of long.
Yes, the next episode of I Don't Recall will be of Super Troopers. So if you're a fan and know the movie,
Super Troopers,
see you there listening to it. comment, subscribe, like, and all that stuff. You should do that same thing with this video and all of our previous videos if you'd like to. Once we get our Patreon up, we'll leave that in our bio, and you can come and give us money if you want to. If not, that's completely cool, but please give us money for this.
Yes, and please
Buy
like
us a drink.
Buy us a drink.
yeah,
Make it so that we can be more drunk and
Yeah.
try to talk about things.
and please like and subscribe and fucking try to share that shit with everybody.
Yeah.
Anybody kind of think we
Tell
might
us
like
how
this.
we feel in your ears.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to comment or whatever, go for it, and I'm down.
Yeah. So this is the Baked Beans Brigade podcast. Thanks for listening. This was B.
Satan.
AJ, thanks for listening.